Yeah, it looks like so we saw a couple days ago, not just you and I, but everyone in the hockey world. Jordan Kyrou was benched by not even benched, but like healthy scratched by the St. Louis Blues. He hadn't scored a point in like 4 games or something, and so like, oh, we can't have that. They did that. I think they won the game, or they may have lost. Doesn't matter. Now it seems he's come back since then. Obviously, he came back the very next game. However, now according to Frank Saravelli, so take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. The message in St. Louis that's been delivered to every other team in the league by their GM is we're open for business. They're ready to make a move. And so with Jordan Kyrou's previous history, right, with, saying those things about his former head coach and then now being benched by the team or scratched, could he be on the move and could he fit with what the Islanders need?
Yeah, so I mean, just for some context, the Blues have the second fewest points in the NHL. They're 5-8-3 through their first 16 games. Jordan Kyrou is a player that I happen to like a lot. He has 5 goals, 9 points in 15 games. He's been a 30-goal scorer each of the previous 3 years, with last year 36 goals, 70 points in an 82-game season. He is 27 years old, and I believe is under contract still for next year.
For 6 more or 5 more after this.
Okay. For 5 more after this at $8.125 million.
So I think the big question we have to immediately ask ourselves is, does someone like Jordan Kyrou fit not just within our team today, but fit with what they're trying to do, as in Mathieu Darche and Patrick Roy? What are they trying to do in terms of building not just today's team, but the team going forward? Does he fit their, what's the word I want to use, program, let's say?
Okay.
I'm not so sure about that, because we're talking about a 27-year-old will turn 28 by May. Does that fit with what they're trying to do? I'm not entirely sure. But does his availability then change that plan, going like, shit, if we can get him, maybe we change our ideas?
I see what you're saying. And I mentioned at the beginning of this, I do really like Jordan Kyrou's game a lot, right? And he scores buckets of goals. He signed through his age 32 season. So it's not like, he's 30 now and you have to worry about him at 37, right? Like, you're essentially talking about trading for a player through the remainder of their prime. I personally just don't think the Islanders are in a spot right now where they are looking to add players like that.
Right.
Just because I think they're still in their transition. Trading for a Jordan Kyrou, that's like a final piece kind of a thing, in my opinion. And I don't think that's where they are in their retooling process.
Right. So I think that's exactly the kind of answer I was hoping to hear. Because you're absolutely right. Like, they're still trying to figure out where they're going exactly. It's still an evaluation year. You bring in someone like Jordan Kyrou, who's an excellent player and could do very good things on this team. You put him on a line with Matthew Barzal and Bo Horvat and just look the F out. It's going to be a great dominant line. Does it get us to the playoffs? Probably. Specifically with how the Metropolitan Division is working out right now, it probably gets us to the playoffs. Assuming everything else stays the same, as in like Ilya Sorokin doing his goddamn thing. Yeah. But does that change? Like, how much do we have to give up of the future to bring him in? And it doesn't fix some of the other issues that we have on this team, namely the blue line, which is good. Right. It's not even good. It's okay. Propped up severely by Matthew Schaefer. But outside of Matthew Schaefer, there's not a whole lot there, either today or tomorrow. So does that help us? Probably not.
No. And that's my stance on it as well. Again, a player that I really like, I just don't think meshes with the timeline of the Islanders, nor does it make sense for their, like, if I think biggest needs right now, I'm thinking on the blue line. And I think it would take a first round pick plus to trade for a guy like Jordan Kyrou. And I don't want to do that because I think that they're going to be in a spot where they very well could look to trade for a young defenseman to pair with Matthew Schaefer this offseason, right? Like, you have your own pick, you have the Colorado pick. I think we expect them to be sellers, and you can get picks for JG Pajot and maybe Anders Lee as well. So you do have ammunition to make changes to this roster, and I think that's what we all expect going into 2026. But I would be holding out. And if you're looking to make a big trade, one, I don't think in-season buying is what the Islanders should do. I think you use the entirety of this season as evaluating what you have, like a true year zero for Matthew Darsh, trying to figure out, like, all right, what is this team? What's my roster? What do I need to do? Sort of a thing. And then from there, I'd be looking on the blue line and trying to find a long-term partner for Matthew Schaefer, which I don't know if is currently in the organization.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Like we talked about it the other day in terms of maybe Isaiah George being that guy. Um, Not a natural right-handed, right? Because he plays lefty, but could play on the right, as we've all figured out. But I think you're right in establishing that kind of need for this team going forward. Like we're trying Matthew Schaefer with a bunch of people, and we're going to get to the D pairs a little bit later. Specifically, Ryan Pollock, it looked pretty good. Or Pulak. Everyone calls him Pulak. I guess that's what he not what he thinks. What he says his name is. So I'm gonna have to change the way I say it. But like that's not a long-term solution. As much as Ryan Pulak is signed for their 4 years or something like that. But we need someone more definitive to stay with Matthew Schaefer, let alone just giving us more quality on that blue line for a long time, because we just, it might be working right now with Schaefer and Pulak for one game, but who knows if that lasts a year, 2 years, 3 years type of thing. So all ultimately coming back to like Jordan Kyrou, great player, good player to add if that was matching our timeline. I just, as you said, I don't think it matches what they're trying to do to grow this hockey team, not just today, but going forward for years to come.
Right. Like, and again, if Jordan Kyrou gets traded, I think he'd be a really good piece to a team that's just in a different spot. Like I mentioned, I think he's more of like a final piece to the puzzle kind of thing, where that's just not where this team is. You have two guys right now in Lee and Peugeot who are very much so in flux on the final year of their deal. We're assuming they're going to be traded, but we don't know that for certain. And then you have some other vets like Kyle Palmieri, Casey Zizekas, who's a center, obviously, so a little bit different there. Anthony Duclair, another vet, middle six guy. And then a lot of young pieces like Heineman and Holmstrom and Cal Ritchie and Siplikov and Shabanov when he comes back. And you're like, I think they're better off this year finding out what those guys are. So no, I'm definitely not in the boat that the Islanders should be trading for Jordan Kyrou, as much as I might like the individual and the player.